gonna be up now. We're live.
Now we're like, okay, let me actually stop working because that's like I'm just like sketching here, and it's like, oh, wait, we're live.
Sketching shit, talking
Yeah,
about shit, and where to
exactly.
shit in public.
Right, exactly. So yeah, San Diego is this week, right?
Yeah, I believe it's this weekend.
Right, yeah. I mean, we were talking about it the last time. I sort of because it's like on the last show Jose did. Someone asked, well, which is better, San Diego or New York Comic Con? Right, and it's like, well, if you're looking for a really large show, I think New York Comic Con has more attendees than San Diego.
San
But if you're
Diego's
looking
got
for a
some
better
shit.
show,
San Diego.
if you want a better show, San Diego's the place to be. The only thing that I hate is everything around it. Like getting the hotels is a nightmare. Shipping your stuff out there is a nightmare. I mean,
No,
it's
I
like
would
the
only want
show.
to go as a patron out there.
Right. No,
Like
it's like
I
because
would
the
never
show
want a
itself,
table.
yeah, the show itself is primo. I mean, I really like the way they run that show. I mean, it's like the way it's so organized.
And they've
It's
got
like
a lot of floor displays with cool displays and fucking
yeah, no,
shit you'll
it's
never see
great.
anywhere else unless you go to Japan or something.
Right. No, it's really, really cool. But like getting a hotel, dealing with, getting there, shipping your stuff and
No.
no.
That's a
No.
life goal. That's like a fucking dream. Like I do want to go out there, but I
Right.
also am very afraid of earthquakes.
Well, look, we had one here.
Look, don't tell me that
You
because
know,
like Daphne, I still have time to cancel.
No, it's like look, it was what it was. It was one. The last one was 40 years ago. Before that, so hopefully you have another 40 years
Oh,
to keep coming to New York.
oh my god! Good morning, everyone. It is July 22nd, 2024.
Oh
It is a
God,
motherfucking Monday.
it really is. What do they call it? The icky Sundays, the Sunday icks, or something like that. The icky Sundays, where it's like that's just what you feel like when you're dreading Monday.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know.
I'm dreading it and we're here.
Right, exactly.
And I don't even know why. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, no,
I'm
really.
freelance. I work on the weekend too.
Yeah.
Why does it matter? It does, though.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Yeah.
You ready to entertain these motherfuckers?
Absolutely not. But hit it.
Trigger warning, fuck you.
Woo! And good morning.
It is just not a proper show unless that clip gets paid.
I need to add it.
Really, because it just like that just sets the tone. Hello, everyone. Hello, Joseph. Hello.
Oh, look at these dudes.
Oh,
hey, what's right? Woo!
Hey, it's like yes, hurricanes and look. Last year we had a lanternfly.
That's
plague.
different. I ain't scared of bugs. I have scorpions and tarantulas and shit all in my house.
Right? No, but it's like they were everywhere this year. Wow, they really made an effort to get rid of those lanternflies because
oh no,
Melissa. That's well. Look, at least you have more time to do comics now.
Oops.
I mean, in the end, that was when I got laid off from my job 10 years ago. Jesus, I still can't believe it. When I got laid off from my job 10 years ago, like everyone else was like weeping and crying and shit, and I went, hell, fuck that shit. I got a
like, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. I got a graphic novel to finish. Now I got the time to do it, and I haven't been back since. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I saw the pictures. I'm pretty
you had
sure
a
it was your pictures.
tornado.
Yeah, there was a whole ass tree in the swimming pool.
Oh, no. I was in Miami when there was a tornado there. Miami Beach, we got a tornado warning, and then it's like the tornado had ripped off the side of a building in like Miami proper.
Oh my god!
You know, by the bay. And yeah, it's just like because all I remember is like 2 a.m.
But
Wait, I'm in Miami.
So
how are we getting a tornado warning?
Wind and rain. Okay, look, I'm a proficient swimmer.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've been thrown across the room, so I'm convinced I can
fought
fly.
Alligators.
I've fucking fought alligators. I've caught snakes. I've fucking whatever. But the ground opening up beneath my feet, is something this motherfucker is not ready for.
Well, that's true. Yes, I gotta give you that one.
No,
I gotta give you that.
The earth that's some biblical shit. I'm not being swallowed up by nothing. Fucking earthquakes and fucking volcanoes. Fuck you. I'm out.
For real, yeah. You know, so oh my goodness. It's like, so it's a yeah, so you and Lorraine have something in common. So it's like you both wrestled alligators.
Well, it wasn't wrestling, really. It was like, motherfucker, would you hurry up and cross the goddamn street? We've been sitting here for 20 minutes, and he just decides he's going to bass. So grabbed him by his tail and ran him across the street. You honk at him, and they're just like,
what? It's like, what? I'm a dinosaur. I predate the dinosaurs. What are you doing?
I sit right here on this fucking asphalt.
Right, exactly. Oh my goodness. So yes, I see you, my beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. If you're joining us from Facebook, if you're joining us from LinkedIn, come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people. We have a lot of sexy people in the chat today. So come on over, keep them company. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. Oh, so might as well get this party started. Hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been still publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter later on this year with the story arc, with the first trade of the story arc, Tears of the Mother, which collects issues 1 through 4 of this 8-issue limited series. And I am known for my medieval fantasy drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. Again, thank you everybody who supported the campaign for Volume 2. I'm actually getting the books in on Thursday, and hopefully by the end of the month, I can start shipping. So thank you again, everybody, for showing up. I am currently. It's like, what am I currently? Oh no, my screen just clicked out. And currently, also, yes, House of Bob, Fetish Fantasy, and Mondo Bondo is going to be on Kickstarter August 19th. These are 2 sketchbooks that collect some of my furry fetish work, and especially Mondo, which is a remaster of my first fetish collection that came out back in like 97 or something. I don't even remember. You know, yeah, it's from the 90s. You know, this thing has been sold out of print for like a billion years, and now I'm bringing it back. And so August 19th, link is in the show notes. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat too. Yeah, so August 19th, Mondo Bondo and House of Bob Fetish Fantasy on Kickstarter. If you're looking to get actual commissions from me, this is the campaign to do it. I am offering a lot of tiers with original artwork on it, and so it's like you can order you can order your sketchbooks and original artwork from me all at the same place. Yeah, and also in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you about it, here's Nita.
Indie Comics Network. I own the fucking Google account that runs it. It's just some friends of mine, and we try to bring you comic-centered stuff. You can find it at indiecomicsnetwork.com. And yeah, so like, yeah, it's comics and stuff.
At
indiecomicsnetwork.com.
It's .com.
.com.
.com. Oh my goodness. So I do miss going to San Diego. I do miss going to San Diego Comic-Con. And it's always, I really, enjoy watching the streams and the videos of everybody who goes there. It's funny because you would think that New York Comic-Con, because it's literally right here, it's like a train ride away to the Javits, that I would be there all the time, but I'm not, because I hate it. I hate it. It's awful.
Worse.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like it. And it's like, it's expensive, and and it's like, yeah, I'd rather be at San Diego if given a choice, because I especially like the way they run their small press. Because last we were there, I'm sure the prices must have gone up for small press. It must be probably a little bit less expensive than New York Comic-Con, but I really did like, I don't know, they just seem to take better care of everybody at the show. Like the show itself, like it's great. It's, if you want to be an exhibitor, it's a lot easier to get. It's very easy to get a table there. At least it was when I was like, I think we almost went to like 6-7 San Diegos in a row.
Oh shit.
And it's like, yeah, it's just like, the show is the easy part, believe it or not. And like I said, it's just the hotel lottery, because you could only get a hotel by lottery for San Diego, and it's awful. It's awful. It's probably even worse now. Like they can't, like, I know that they keep threatening to move to Las Vegas whenever they want the city of Orlando to make concessions for them. They're always using that as a threat. I don't see San Diego moving to Las Vegas at all, but they like to say that whenever, because it's like they keep complaining that there's not enough hotels in the area,
right.
And it's like, it's just like, the show is great. It's the city of
the city is not big enough.
It's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. But New York Comic-Con, not impressed. But I think that's just Reed Pop in general. I think that just Reed Pop is just like a really awful organization. So every show that they buy up, no matter how good it was before, the second Reed Pop gets their hands on it, you might as well just write it off. I think the only one that it hasn't gone to shit yet is Emerald City, because I know that Reed Pop bought Emerald City like a couple of years ago. And everyone was afraid that convention is going to change, because Emerald City, I think, it's very indie friendly, and it's still like very comic book centered. Like there isn't many of those left. Like, we all love those conventions that call themselves comic book conventions, and then you go there and it's all celebrities.
Yep.
And it's very rare nowadays, to see a convention that's really focused on comics. And I think Emerald City is one, because I know there's Heroes Con, Dragon Con, not so much, but everyone says that that's a really good show anyway. Even if you're doing comics, like Heroes Con. Heroes Con is mostly known for its cosplay parties, but It's not like anime cosplay parties. Like this is like one giant costume party. You know, like this is like if you just want to see, you know, like the best cosplay in the world that's outside of Japan, maybe it would be Dragon Con, right? So I hear Dragon Con is good. Heroes Con, definitely a small convention. Oh yeah, ain't nobody moving to Las Vegas with that 120-degree heat.
That's what I keep hearing.
C2E2 is getting worse by the year. I mean, it's like C2. Oh, it's nearly impossible to get into NYC. To New York Comic Con. San Diego was way more indie friendly. Yes, it is. And what I really like too is the way that they curate. They curate their tables, you know, because I know I've mentioned this before. San Diego, like when we had to go, we had to send in a packet of the new books we were going to have for that year for us to get a table, because they don't want to make sure they're not giving tables to that person who only prints one book and they're writing that one book for 10 years, which means that they're holding on to that table for 10 years. Right? No, they want people to come to your table and have something new to pick up every year. So I really like that. It's not like with anime conventions where it's just a straight up lottery, where it's like you could be at an anime show on one year and then the next year not get in. And obviously, I guess like New York Comic Con is the same way now, because I swear to God, people got salty when the guest list.
A lot of people
got publicized and everyone was finding out whether they got in or not, you know. And it's just like, I mean, that's kind of like, especially with smaller shows, it's not so much, because smaller shows, it's usually you just pay, you get a table and you go, right? But again, it's like finding one that's comic book centered is tough, because not a lot of people do that anymore. Now it's like it's all about the B, C, D, E, Z list celebrities that are there, and then everything else is just,
or they're mixing it where it's like not just comics, it's fucking movies and like and it's not just the celebrity, like seriously, like the con that Scott Ennis is bringing, it's a pinch of comics, but they're calling it a Comic-Con. It's like, bro, come on, man.
Well, they have an actor that plays Superman. Superman's a comic book character, so that counts. Like that's kind of the logic that they're using. And it's like, nah, bruh, nah. You know, but then it's like when you start to get into like the mid-range shows, that's when it starts to get difficult. And honestly, it's like I really resent on a certain level the fact that anime conventions are so difficult to get into, because they are usually run by lottery. They're either heavily curated or they're just straight up lottery, and it makes it difficult to plan,
right?
You know, because it's like, oh, I want to set up my schedule for the year, but like half the shows I'm not even sure I'm even going to be at. And you know, the fact that like I don't have a job to answer to, you know, that makes it a little easier, but not by much.
Right.
You know, because it's like I still have to prepare, you know, and it's like, why am I going to waste resources preparing for a show that in the end I'm not going to be at? I don't even, because some of these, and here's another thing too that I never understood, right? How absolutely like a lot of these shows are such clusterfucks when it comes to how they're organized and how they're run, that it's like some shows, they don't even tell you if you've been accepted until a month before. And it's like, how am I supposed to work with that?
Yeah, right.
You know, how am I supposed to, you know, it's like, especially like
you own their time.
Right. Yeah. It's like, no, honey, that's not how it works. It's like, I need a lead up. You know, you can't just give me a month and say, oh, you got your table. And it's like, well, I can't do anything with it.
I got to plan 6 months out to go visit a friend, bro.
Right, exactly. You know, and imagine if you had work, you know, it's if you had a job. It's like usually they don't, you need 3 months to schedule time off like that, you know? So it's like, you know, because it's like, oh my God, because it's like the last show that everyone online seemed to have been talking about was BlurredCon out, I think, in Ohio.
Yeah, I heard it was
And
bad
what
experience.
a nightmare of a show. Like how do you like this is kind of like the problem when a lot of these shows really heavily depend on volunteers. And the problem is, imagine the thing with anime cons is that even if you get in, they aren't even manga friendly, let alone comic friendly. It's all prints and tchotchkes. Yeah, that was like a whole thing that that we were talking about on the last show, where at Anime Expo, like some actual Japanese editors, like they flew out all the way to Japan to check out the comic book scene, the American comic book scene, like manga scene, the American manga scene at Anime Expo, and they were like shocked that there was nothing there. It was all, like you said, it's all print mongers and tchotchkes. And they were like going, where's all the American manga people? And it's like, well, they're all busy making prints and tchotchkes because that's the shit that sells at conventions. It's not, it's like, also it's like, if you really want to see what they're, and also I still believe too that they are doing comics, it's just that they're putting it on webtoons. So they didn't really need to come out all that way. But yeah, that's kind of like the funny thing. But so with a lot of these conventions, they're run on volunteers, but it's like it's volunteers who are just there to get the free ticket to the show, and they don't really take running the show seriously.
No.
And there's a lot of shows that do that, because I watch enough of these not anime, but a lot of these artist alley girlies. They're going from show to show, and to see how many shows that they just cannot get their shit together. And these are shows that have been there, like been running for like 10 years, and they still can't get their shit together. And it's just, but BlurredCon was horrific. I mean, it's like, like one thing that really, really irked me was that they had said that the Artist Alley was supposed to open up at noon. Right, Artist Alley opens up to the public at noon, so people were like setting up and they were getting food. It's like at around like 11 o'clock, like one woman was saying how she was online getting food at some, I don't know, like McDonald's or something, let's just say. And she gets like these texts from one, I guess, like one of the showrunners saying, hey, look at all these people at your booth, you should really be here.
The fuck?
And the woman was like going, it's 11 o'clock. You said the Artist Alley was supposed to open at noon. And it goes, well, it's open now.
Oh my fucking God.
Right? And then she had to run back to her booth. And when her boyfriend went to argue with the guy, it's like, yo, you said that the room was going to open at noon. You didn't say it was going to open at 11. And the guy told him, it's like, look, it's like, it's not my fault you're not about the hustle.
Wow. Fucker.
And it's like, yeah, it's like, holy shit. I think I would have packed up and left.
Yeah, right? Okay.
You're going to talk to me like that? You can't follow your own fucking schedule. And this was Friday. This was just Friday.
Oh my God.
But I mean, so it's like, yeah, it's like, and they said, and a lot of people were saying the entire show was like that. It was just like a lot of attitude. It's like they would be complaining on Twitter to the people running the show, and
I'm calling every local pizzeria before I leave and ordering 100 pizzas to be delivered to the convention center, and then
it's like charge these people. Yeah, it's like, I have to admit though, the best small-ish medium-sized convention that I actually still miss as well is Pittsburgh Comic-Con. That was really good. It's just that the promoter had to go murder his wife and go to prison. So, things happen. Things happen. But yeah, it's like, so that's why, like, especially being older, I really like, as much as, like, on one hand, I kind of miss like comic book conventions. I don't like going to media conventions. Let's just call them for what they're pop media conventions. I don't like those.
There's a documentary about it.
Yeah, he murdered his wife.
It might be on YouTube now.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. I'll share it.
Yeah.
It was
so minor inconvenience. Yeah. Yes, it was. So it's like, yeah, so it's like, I really don't like those pop media conventions, because it's like, when people are coming up and telling you, wow, I can't believe that you're the only comic book people here, that's a bad sign. You would think that would work in our favor, because like, oh, we have technically no competition. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Also, it's like, this is also the reason why that I hate the fact when other comic people say, oh, we're competition, like, oh, like all comic book people are competition to each other, like, and it's like, no, it's like, that's the stupidest thing, that every time somebody says that, it's like, I can't take you seriously, because it's like, look, the books that we're superficially, we are all doing comic books.
What the fuck was his name? It was Libel.
Oh, I don't.
Blake Libel. Blake Libel. Look it up. Yeah.
Oh, that's the guy who murdered his wife.
Yeah, that's the guy that murdered his.
He tried to blame it on another comic book retailer, or
it might have been his girlfriend.
An ex-boyfriend, or
something. I don't know if they were married, but he was like he's some
it was
family's
son.
I
know. I don't remember if it was his wife or his ex-wife, and he was trying to pin it on a former boyfriend who was also another comic book. It was convoluted.
Yeah,
it was convoluted. But I missed that show though. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like, superficially, when we all make comics, we all superficially make the same thing, but we're not in competition with each other, because we're doing something different, because it's like, to say that Eagle Raven is competition to whatever, Ersta's superhero book you're doing is absolutely insane. It's like two different things, bro. It's like, shit. It's like, I can't even get the same people who buy Eagle Raven to buy Tall Tales. I mean, it's like, don't tell me that because someone's buying Eagle Raven, they're not buying your superhero book, or they're not buying your TNA book. It's like, that's not what's going on here. And especially, oh my God, there was one convention we were at where this guy, oh my God, it was like, talk about die mad about it,
only 6.
That 6, Jesus, yeah, I know, right? That we were at a show where, like, a couple of tables away from us was Frank Miller and Bernie Wrightson. So just to show you.
Oh God, I would wet my pants. And
right, that's where Jose got a signed Bernie Wrightson print, a Frankenstein.
Bernie Wrightson.
It's the one that's
Frankenstein. Oh my God, and you didn't get a werewolf?
Well, that was Jose. Jose was the one who bought the print. I was at the table, sulking at something. So,
the fact that you didn't get a sexy werewolf print.
Right. I don't think, it's funny. I don't think he's really known for that. It's not like it was like Mike Plug.
Are you
because, so he saw Bernie Wrightson there, and he said that Bernie Wrightson was not looking well. So he's like, holy shit, if I don't get something from him this now, I might never get anything from him. So, so Jose bought a Frankenstein print, and Bernie Wrightson signed it, and that's what we have in the living room. And I think like 6 months later, he ended up passing.
Right. And Justo completed the last werewolf piece that he had started.
Oh, really?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, there was a lot of artists who, it's like that they were taking unfinished Bernie Wrightson. I think Tim Vigil did one as well, that he took an unfinished Bernie Wrightson piece and inked it in. or at least, and it's just,
right.
Melissa says the problem with pop culture shows is that people don't come for the comics. They come for all the other stuff. So they don't even want what you're offering. It's
There's
true.
no curiosity.
Yeah,
If
no curiosity.
they glance over and they don't see what they're already looking for, they're not coming to Snoop. I mean,
yeah,
that passed.
yeah. So that's why I'm saying that it's like to see when people say, oh yeah, because it's like they were saying it's like, oh, we're all competition, and it's like, no, we're not.
Right.
The Frank Miller story. So so Bernie Wrightson and Frank Miller was there, a couple of tables away, and this one guy, for the life of me, I couldn't even tell you who the fuck this guy was. That just to show you how much of a nobody he was, right? And he was fucking salty,
Yeah.
And it's like, and he was like screaming about the reason why he's not successful in comics because Marvel keeps hiring Frank Miller and Bernie Wrightson, two old guys who should have retired a long time ago. And I go, no, bitch. They could not be here, and you would still be a nobody not working at Marvel. Don't worry about it, bro. Like really, like it's like he was just another version of these guys going, oh, if Polito didn't exist,
if there was no such thing as
TNA didn't exist, I'd be more successful. If this didn't exist, if this person didn't exist, if this person wasn't doing comics. And it's like, wow, it must be really hard doing shit that's dependent on everybody else not being there. It must be so hard.
Careful, ladies, we can't hurt feelings. We can't hurt feelings.
I mean, it's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Right.
I mean, but really, it's like holy shit. It's like, wow, you can't function. If somebody else doesn't exist. Yeah, it's like, hey, Odin, cry me a fucking river. Why do they hire two of the most prolific comic artists, writers ever? Yeah,
right.
You know what? It's like, really, it's like, I would still, I mean, really, honestly, I would rather see Frank Miller, continue to get dubious cover work. I don't care. It's Frank Miller. Do they look wonky? It's Frank Miller. I don't give a shit. I mean, the man, he could do covers for the rest of his life. I don't care, right? That I would rather see that than that asshole screaming like an entitled little baby in the middle of a convention, embarrassing himself. I would rather see Frank Miller continue to do covers than see that guy draw one line for Marvel. I mean, really, I don't care if, I don't care how talented he thinks he is. It's like, you know what? Just for acting a fool like that,
I hope you never get your chance.
I hope you never get your chance.
Never.
Really. I hope someone always cuts you off in line. I mean, really, you want to act like a fucking bitch baby, crying like that? I hope, you know what? I hope you get everything you deserve.
Look, so irrelevant, she probably doesn't even remember.
No, I don't even know who it was. Like I said, he was like a nobody in the middle of this convention, standing up on his fucking chair and raging.
Because really? Oh my God. And they let him fucking
He wanted Frank Miller and Bernie Wrightson to hear that.
Oh my God.
And it's like, honey, the fact that I remember Frank Miller and Bernie Wrightson's name, and I only remember you being the dumb bitch screaming on top of a chair is enough.
Oh God.
It's like that clip from that clip from Troy with Achilles going, "That is why no one will know your name."
Oh my God, we so need that clip.
Name. Yeah, no one will remember your name. It's like, I mean, really, we're not competition. And the fact, and I think that when you get caught up in this nonsense, in this mythology, that it's like, oh, if another comic book artist exists, they're competition, they're taking people away from you. No, right. I'm not. No, I'm not. Trust me, the guy buying Tall Tales, maybe most likely he'll buy Nightwolf too. Similarities,
right?
But it's like, come on. it's like different, and even then it's like, like Rob's doing horror,
And then
werewolf
there's
stuff.
people who buy comics based on the aesthetic they like
Right.
too, not even the genre.
Right.
So you just like,
Right.
these people need to get off their
Because there
fucking
was an
mouth.
argument that was brought up on one of Jose's. Was it Jose's show? I don't remember. And someone was asking about how do I stand out at shows like New York Comic Con? It's like, I'm small press,
If
this,
they're
that, and
on
the other
Jose's
thing.
show,
Yeah.
like if they're down here with us, you don't stand out.
You
You
don't.
don't.
You don't. And that was kind of like the consensus from the panel. It's like, you don't.
You don't.
It's like New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. I mean, those C2E2, those are not the shows that all of a sudden you start worrying about standing out.
No. No, you stand at a little local garage con or
right, exactly. It's like, it's like doing the smaller shows and building your community on a smaller level, and it's like, and even then it's like you're building your audience outside of those conventions. It's like, look, I've said this over and over and over again. It's the audience, stupid.
Oh,
it's not your book. Yeah, it's like have a good book and hire a Dickensian ragamuffin to harass people into coming to your booth. I agree. That was like another conversation that we had where we remember when we were talking about it's like because it was me and Jose. Well, I was joking with this to Jose because we were talking about ourselves in the third person.
Oh yeah.
Like what if because like people are more likely to buy your book from a third person than they are from you.
Right.
Because it's like for some reason, if somebody that's not related to you is talking about your book, they're more likely to believe that it's good than if you say, yeah, I think my book is good, or, oh yeah, this is a good book. This is my book. I did it.
Good.
Right. It's kind of like that social proof. Well, I'm expecting you to say that it's good, but that doesn't mean anything because you're obviously biased. But if this complete stranger, if this salesperson tells me that the book is good, all of a sudden it's like, well, I mean, if you're just even though if you're just a salesperson, it's like you still have to sell it, so it must have some value, right? It's stupid, but but yeah, it's like it's just like I'm kind of wondering, it's like, what if, like I told Jose, it's like, what if at our next convention we switched places and the only books I'm allowed to sell is the Oswald Chronicles, and the only book he's allowed to sell is Eager Raven.
Oh shit!
Would we sell more books?
You would, because you talk about his book. He just.
But you see, the thing is, though, he has nothing to do with Eager Raven. So would it be easier for him to talk about my book? You see, because
he has to read it first.
Jose's a writer. He can make something up. I don't know.
Oh my god!
I'll give him notes.
I'm gonna come sell your shit at a con, Daphne.
Right, exactly. It's like with
cheerleaders.
But the thing, so the whole, but like I said, it's like, when you go to a big convention, that's not the place where you all of a sudden realize you need an audience. Right. You need to build that beforehand, before the convention, whether it's through mailing lists, whether it's through small conventions, whether it's through, I don't know what other
media platforms,
social media, wherever, however you're building your audience, you have to do it beforehand. And then it's like when you get to the show, the idea is to have enough people that they're looking for you.
Right.
Because that's what would happen to us when we went to San Diego. Every year we had people looking for us.
Nice.
So we didn't have to worry if we were sitting. Oh my God, there was one year we literally, our table was like right across from, what was that? Spike and Mike's.
Oh, I love Spike and Mike. Spike and Mike's Thick and Twisted. Yes.
Spike and Mike's, right? There's a documentary about them, the animation festival, the adult animation festival, right? And you would think that would be the toughest convention for us to be at, because that dude, because it's like, I don't remember I think it was Mike right? Because he was always wearing these hats, and he was like screaming the most ridiculous shit to promote his stuff. Like it would be like, oh, in the next 10 minutes, I'm selling my DVD. I'm selling the latest Spike and Mike for $20, in the next 10 minutes, next 10 minutes only, $20. And then when the 10 minutes was up, he'd be like, oh, the latest Spike and Mike DVD is on sale for $20. Like it would never change. It was always $20. But he would like just be making up shit. It was hysterical.
Yeah, they're great.
But the thing is, though, the people who were looking for us came straight to us.
Right.
They were not distracted by Spike and Mike. They came to us because they were looking for us. So Spike and Mike was not competition to us.
No.
Even though he was incredibly loud and incredibly funny. It was incredibly entertaining.
They're showmen.
Yeah. But they didn't affect our sales at all because we're not competition any more than the people next to us selling their indie comic was competition to us.
Right.
It's like, no, it's like people in small press. It's like, yeah, it's like, and I think that a lot of people have to like let go of that because it's keeping you from thinking. It's keeping you from problem solving. I mean, it's like if you're having a problem promoting your book or you feel like your audience isn't growing, or you're not, I don't know, getting the accolades, the pat on the back that you deserve, check out the last episode. We talked about that in detail. So, okay, it's somebody else's fault. Let's run with that.
Right.
Then what?
Show me on the doll where the titty book touched you.
Right.
Not where you touched yourself looking at the titty book.
Right.
Where the titty book touched you.
Right. How did Polito hurt you?
How did Brian Polito hurt you? How did Dan Mendoza hurt you? How did Frank Miller hurt you? Right.
It's like, yeah, that's stupid. I mean, that's just what it is. So it's like, okay, let's run with it. Yeah, that's right.
Because their books suck.
Oh yeah, I hate to say it, but I know guys whose tchotchkes sell better than their books.
So do we.
Bewilders them. No, I don't think it's bewildering. Honestly, I think
because your shot glass is cooler than your story.
Your shot glasses are cooler than your book. Your tchotchkes are cooler than your book. And honestly, if you're selling more tchotchkes than you are selling books, you're yeah, we don't murder them. No, we don't. Right? If your tchotchkes are outselling your books, you're not a comic book creator. You're a comic book creator who
you're
tchotchke. Yeah, you're a kaijit who has wares. You happen to sell comics.
And skooma.
So it's like, because that's the thing, because it's like, because I don't do a lot of merchandise. I rarely do merchandise. It's like, okay, maybe you get some stickers from me, some acrylic charms, but those are novelties that you get from my Kickstarters. Because in the past, we used to try to do actual merchandise. Like we did have a Tall Tales t-shirt that sold out because of Columbine, but that's another story. Actually, no. Our sales dropped because of Columbine, and we ended up selling them out because of 9/11. So yeah. Like I said, that's a different story. I might tell it in a minute. But
ouch.
And so we used to do merchandising.
Right.
We used to try to. And the funny thing about merchandising is that it's kind of like there's a weird dichotomy going on here. Maybe right?
You heard her.
Yeah.
She said it out loud.
So, okay, let me tell the story.
Oh,
we had a t-shirt, a Tall Tales t-shirt, right? And innocent enough from the front. very much party in the back. So in the back of the shirt, right? So the front of the shirt had Ravenwood on it and the logo, looking like a very normal shirt.
Right.
But on the back of it, in these blood red letters, was death to all those who oppose the cause, which is Ravenwood saying, that's his battle cry, right? So it made the mullet of t-shirts. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And so we did the shirt. We had it silk screened, very nice, and and it was just like a regular shirt, and it was doing okay until Columbine happened. And holy shit, we could not have that shirt on the table. We had to stop selling that shirt. But Jose, being Jose, kept wearing it regardless. It's just that when we had it on the table, it would make people really, really uncomfortable. So we had to stop selling it. I think we sold it on, I don't even remember if we even had a website at the time. I don't remember. But everything changed when 9/11 happened. Now, all of a sudden, Jose would be wearing this shirt and people would be going, where'd you get that shirt? I need that shirt. Yeah. And then Jose goes, oh, funny you should say that. We actually have some underneath the table. And all of a sudden, death to all those who opposed the cause became a rallying cry. We sold out of those shirts. Unfortunately, we were never able to reprint those shirts because my silk screener stole the artwork.
Fuck no. What a fucking cocksucker.
Yeah, stole the artwork.
Wow.
So we could never do it again. Well, I would have to redraw it
right
to be able to do it again.
What a fucking prick.
But he stole my artwork. So that's why we never printed more of those t-shirts. I don't know. You think we should bring them back though? Because, if we're going to talk about merchandising, do you think, I don't know. Do you think in these hellscape days,
I think we live in some interesting times. It might sell.
It might sell. Definitely interesting times. That's for sure.
I'm so tired of living in interesting times. It's been interesting times since I was born.
I'm tired of reliving history in a 5-year span. It's too much. It's too much. So yeah,
where's
so that's
my memes at?
So that's the story of the t-shirts. So merchandising, right? So that kind of worked for us. So, but we never really had any more luck. And look, and then it's like we have the basement full of monkeys, right? Yeah, it's like we did do a vinyl toy that we still have a basement full of. So it's like after that, we realized that it's like, okay, we're not going to do merchandising like this anymore. But our books always outsold the merchandising.
Right.
Our books always outsold the merch. People, as cool as people like our vinyl dolls, they would rather have the book.
Right.
So plus win-win, I guess. I mean, I would like it if they would buy the doll too, but they would rather have the book. So at least we can say
they do buy the doll too.
Well, they do, but not as much. Like if they had a choice, they would rather.
I bought 4 of those fuckers.
They would rather buy the book,
right?
Even if they're priced the exact same way. If it's like $20 to get a doll, $20 to get a book. Oh, we'd rather get the book. So, right. and I actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's like I actually like that. It's oh, cool. You'd rather read my story. You'd rather see my artwork than have a tchotchke.
Right.
Which I think that's very telling for us, right? Although honestly, I think that if we made like Tall Tales shot glasses, I'm sure they would sell really well because people collect those. People collect those, I mean, and also the only reason we wouldn't do that is only because they're difficult to ship. you know, and it's like why deal with the hassle? And like I said, it's like I hate having stock that doesn't move,
right?
You know, so it's not, yeah. So so merchandise is kind of like, yeah, they're cool. Would I love to have, yeah, would it be cool to have, tall tales shot glasses? Would it be really cool?
I wish people would understand this, because
books
you
are
got
for
these
readers,
people,
merch is for fans.
right? The books are for readers, the merch is for fans. Okay, you're coming out with your issue 1 with a plush, with a fucking shot glass, with fucking magnets and t-shirts and fucking all kinds of fucking wares, and then wondering why your ass is fucking not making that your fucking return
You
on
haven't
investment.
even built an audience yet.
You got to have people who know what this shit is even to want it, for the most part. I mean, unless you've got like say Oswald. Oswald is a character that could come out of the fucking gate and people are going to be, or even take Rob, because werewolves.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But like, there's people with these very specific fucking comics and shit that are creating this bogus ass merch that's just going to sit in your goddamn fucking house forever, because no one even knows who you are yet or what your IP is.
Exactly. Like you would have to like run on like the Hello Kitty theory of merchandise.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That it's like it would have to be generic enough to appeal. It's a specific character, but design wise, it has generic appeal.
Right.
So that kind of gives you an advantage. Right. And even Jose said that it's like, yeah, he could come out the gate with you haven't seen the Polaroids I've seen, Odin. So that story I'm not telling.
Well, yes, you are.
That he had said that that he could come out with an Oswald toy and he couldn't even need to have a book on the table, and he says, I guarantee that plush would sell, because it's just a cute little mouse with a bow tie. Again, generic Hello Kitty appeal. Right? Like if that would like honestly, it's like if I were to do a plush toy, it would either have to be Amadeo or Morgan, the unicorn or the fox.
Right.
Because it's like, who doesn't love unicorns? Well, there are plenty of people who don't, but I'm not selling this to them. It's like, it's like you'd have a unicorn plush or a little fox plush, right? Like, again, the generic appeal, right? But yeah, it's like, but most of the time though, if you have a very specific character, most people are really not going to resonate with that unless they know the character already.
Right.
Unless you have the audience for it. And honestly, if you're it's like if the most people you're getting, the most backers you're getting on Kickstarter is like 100 people.
Well, yeah, of course it would, because we're
Oh yeah, you see, but he's saying the reasonably priced action figures. And the thing is though,
you can't be
you're not
priced.
Mattel, you're not Hasbro. It's like, so it's like we're going to end up, when we make merchandise, it's going to be the same thing with our comics. We cannot compete with these corporations that can make $10 Funko Pops.
Right.
I mean, we customize a Funko Pop and that's 30, 40, 50 bucks right there.
Right.
No one's going to buy that. They'd rather buy the actual Funko Pop that costs $10 of whatever character that they know already than buy your custom Funko Pop or your custom, like even our vinyl figure, where it's like, well, for 20 bucks, I could probably buy 3 Funko Pops. 3D printing. It's not quite there yet for people.
Close.
Start.
Close.
Even for figurines, it's really expensive, because it's like, I mean, I would love to have someone sculpt an Eagle Raven figure for me, like a little statue, not like an action figure, but like a
clay
statue. Like those DC Bishojo. Oh, I don't know. The anime DC figures. right? And the Marvel, I think Marvel does them too, where it's like, it's like if you saw them, you'd recognize them. They're the anime ones, that statues that they do. I would love to have one of Eagle Raven, but I mean, just finding like a good person just to sculpt it is like starts at $500.
I know a guy.
And we could talk, but I don't have the budget for that. And then you're talking about the printing, which is a whole other set of logistical issues. Especially the more detail you have in it, the more complicated, because they're nice. Like I remember the statue that you did for Elysian Fields. That was really nice. That was really nice looking, and I'm sure it must have cost you a mint to get it done, because he had a base. It was like a whole, it was a whole thing going on. And even, and it's like even the prototypes that Rob showed us, it's like, wow, it's like, it's like you're talking about, oh, really? It's like they're cheaper people than that. Oh, okay. That was expensive. Yeah, no, really. It looked it, it's like, but you can see why. But it's like, that's why, but that's why in the end, it's like, I'm really skittish about, about doing merchandising, because it's like, it's like, look, I understand they're cool, but at the same time, does it distract from your book?
Right.
Does the merchandise distract from the book? Do you have enough of audience that even justify the expense of making, of spending that much? I could imagine. He says the best investment he ever made. Does it just, I mean, it's like, do you have the audience to even justify the expense? Because honestly, at this point, if I were to spend that money to do an Eagle Raven sculpt and get it printed and, and probably find somebody to paint it, that is just for me.
Right.
Because it's like, what? It's like nobody is going to spend $200, $300 on it. Like I said, I can't even get people to spend $20 on a vinyl toy. They'd rather buy my book. So that's, so it's like, so whatever tchotchkes I do make, it's just for the fans. It's just for the people who pledged to my Kickstarter.
Bro, story of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's going to buy the print. Everybody's going to buy the plushie. If you do the t-shirt, everybody's going to buy it. And in reality, nope.
They never do. They never do. Yeah, it's like that's a tale as old as time. I can't tell you how many times I've seen artists go, oh, like they put up a piece, and, oh, is this a print? Is this a print? If it was a print, I'd buy it, and this and the other thing. And they get so many
print.
They make that print, and then crickets. Tale as old as time. That's why I do that. That's why, in the end, I really don't ask my audience for shit.
Woo.
It's like, what, if it's like, it's like, you're just gonna have to suss out the the toy safety. That's why, you see, that's why, oh my God, you have to go the Kid Robot role. The Kid Robot, because they make plushies, but they're art toys.
Right.
So because I know that with our vinyl, we had to put that on the boxes. Like, this is not a toy, even though we call it an art toy. It's a vinyl art figure, and it's like, that's, that's what, we had, that's what we had to do, to kind of avoid that. Because, okay, this is not a toy. Especially, it's an art toy. And I think you can do that with plushies too. If you're kind of like, oh, this is an art figure. This is a plush art figure, or an art textile figure or something. But, that had to hurt. And then everybody who wanted it didn't want, it's like, oh, well, no, next time or something. Right. It's like, oh, well, I didn't mean it now. Right. Yeah. But that's why I don't ask my audience, what do you want to see? It's like, because it's like, I don't trust them. I mean, it's like, look, I trust them. Oh, okay. Your child safety tested because I'm selling to all ages. Well, okay, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, at least I mean, for as much as these plushes cost, but it's $800 you didn't want to spend. Um, yeah, funny thing is that we are at smaller cons with no tchotchkes, the books sell better. Yeah, I think so, because it's like, yeah, and that we don't do tchotchkes. We don't do and it's like, and I don't ask it's like, you know what? It's like, look, I put out the book, the people buy it, and in the end, that's all I ask for. It's like, if I want to do a tchotchke, I'll do it for those fans, but not because they ask for it. I mean, as weird as that sounds, because it's like, I've seen way too many artists get burned on that whole, would you buy it if I made a print? You buy it if I made a t-shirt, if you buy it, and then people go, yeah, and then when you do it, they're all gone. The crickets, you can't even sell one, you can't even give it away. So yeah, that's that's kind of that's kind of a tricky thing, like doing merchandise. And then but you know what, just because you do the merchandise, I guess going back to the convention, right? How do you stand out at a big convention like New York Comic Con, right? And look, like I said, the consensus on that panel was that you don't. It's like New York Comic Con is the end of that ride, not the beginning.
Right.
It's like, you should have been building up your audience to be excited to be looking for you there before you got to that show, not because you're at that show. And that's kind of a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, because we work hard on our books. We put an effort into them. People are being paid to do them. You got to you got to herd those cats to get the book done. And it's like, look, this is not a baseball diamond. Right. Build it, and no, they will not come. They will not come to your table. They will not all of a sudden go, oh my God, who are you? Those days are gone. I swear to God, the last time I remember that ever happening was in the 90s. It's like right before that, it's like, right. It's like, because once that speculator bubble burst,
that was
yes. Here's a fun topic that's similar. Useless as a freaking pre-launch email mailing list. It depends. You see,
but that wasn't always the case,
right?
But pre-launch period, it almost seems for naught nowadays,
right?
Like, I mean, there's no way we're still hitting the 20%,
right? It's like, you see, the thing is though, it's like with the pre-launch mailing list, like I only was able to do it for a couple of campaigns, and honestly, I really didn't pay attention to the conversion. Yeah, build it and they'll pretend they never talked to you in the first place. Yeah. Because in the end, it's like what we're building is just like frivolous entertainment. It's like, we're not making literature here. We're not building mousetraps, it's like, and then it's like you had 600 signups and what, you had 100 people pledge, if even.
That's how it fucking goes now. But it used to be so much fucking better. Like, you were almost guaranteed at least 20-25% of those motherfuckers that signed up for pre-launch were gonna fucking show up for the fucking campaign.
Well,
not anymore. Not anymore. It's all fucking FOMO, and it's an instant. That's why it's like with pre-launch, I just dabble in it now.
Right.
Once it goes live, that first 48.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing that I was finding useful that Facebook ruined was the backer kit pre-launch page.
It's everybody. You're not alone.
Yeah. Like for a couple of campaigns, actually, no, it was like we did it for Tall Tales, the last Tall Tales campaign. I did a backer kit pre-launch. That's what happened. And we got a lot of people, signing up because it's like because if you do the backer kit pre-launch, it goes straight to your email.
You don't count here, Rob. We're talking here. You're here. And then there's it's like this. There's steps, bro. There's steps.
But even doesn't have to do a pre-launch. I don't even think Polito does pre-launches. He just launches and he makes $100,000 on the.
They might say something 48 hours beforehand or something.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's like there comes a point where a pre-launch is not even necessary. You know, you get to a certain stage, right? But when we did the backer kit pre-launch for Tall Tales, we collected a lot of emails because people, instead of like going to Kickstarter and just kicking pre-launch and we never hear from them again, at least on backer kit we were able to get their emails, and it worked until on the next campaign Facebook changed their fucking algorithm, marking those backer kit links as spam.
Yes, they did. Backer kit and the same fucking time.
Yeah, backer kit and Bitly. All of a sudden, I had to link directly to the Kickstarter pre-launch page. So whatever opportunity I had to collect emails, Facebook fucked it up for me. Now it's like, oh, this is spam because it reroutes. Yeah, you go to, it's a link to a Kickstarter that reroutes through BackerKit to get your email. Then it takes you to Kickstarter. Oh, no, that's spam. It's misleading. Well, you keep that up and we'll block and we'll ban your account.
Right.
Thanks, Facebook.
And we're going to bury you in the feed in the meantime.
Right. So, so at least I was able to get the opportunity to use it once, but now I can't use it.
Right.
Now I can't take advantage of that anymore because, Oh, I forgot to mention what happened to me this weekend.
Was it hot?
No, it was not. It was far from hot.
Oh, well, let's hear it.
It was far from hot.
Yeah.
So speaking of merchandising, right? So you need a place to sell it, right?
Right. So
me and Jose were talking. So me and Jose had kind of like, we were sharing my Square account for Eagle Raven Tall Tales and Oswald Chronicles.
Right.
And it got to a point where Jose wanted a separate store for Oswald because he goes like, look, there's no overlap between the 3 books anyway. And I think that if Oswald was on its own store, maybe we could finally, sell some books. I have a better opportunity to sell books online. And I go, you know what? That's a good idea, So I was working with another friend of ours who I was like doing minor updates on his website, and something had glitched out and his entire store disappeared on his website. So it had to be built from scratch. So a glitch not of my making. So I told him that I would research some stores, some online, stores to see because he wanted one that would integrate with his website. He didn't want a separate store. Like he didn't want a Shopify or something. He wanted something that he could integrate with his website. So I was looking into it and I narrowed it down to two plugins. One was WooCommerce and another one was called WordPress iSell. Although the WordPress iSell only dealt with digital files. Like, so if I decided to hold on to that one, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the other one I was really looking into was WooCommerce. Seems like a lot of people, I mean, even Rob said that he was, hey, friend, Rob said that he uses WooCommerce. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to look more into this. So I was playing around with it, didn't install it. So it's like, okay, it seems easy enough. And I was looking at, YouTube channels and whatnot. And like I said, Rob uses it on his Lone Wolf site. So I go, okay. So Jose said that he wanted a separate,
wait for it.
So Jose told me he wanted a separate store for Oswald. And, and the reason why I liked WooCommerce because it said that it could incorporate into the whatever website you had already. So you could sell on directly from your website as opposed to having somebody have to go to a completely separate website, for that platform. So I decided it's like, okay, you know what? I'm finally going to do it this weekend. I'm going to separate the stores. So I cleaned up. So I took Oswald off of my store. So it's just Tall Tales and Eagle Raven there. It's going to be, and then I'm going to put the House of Bob books on there as well once that campaign's over. So you're going to be able to get everything there. So separated everything out, and then it's like, okay, now let's start setting up Oswald. So I go to the website, I install WooCommerce, I feel, it's like I start clicking install, I start, like, okay, so it's like, I fill this out. Then I hit install and the shit deletes the website.
Motherfucker.
WooCommerce deleted the entire fucking website for the Oswald Chronicles.
Fuck.
Oh my God. I was so like, how it's like you're beyond being angry. Like you the thing is just so foobar. You can't even get angry. Once I realized what it did, and it's like, I said, it's like, shit, I have to. So I had to build. I spent all of yesterday scrambling. It's a subdomain. Honestly, Rob, I do not know what happened. I thought I was just filling out basic info. The shit never told me it was going to overwrite the website. It didn't give me a warning or nothing. I thought that I was just filling out, like
extension.
Supposed to be a thing that integrates with WordPress, and nope, it replaced. I thought I knew I was doing, Rob. I thought I knew I thought I knew what I was doing. I read the instructions.
I saw a YouTube video once.
I saw YouTube videos. I thought that maybe I would have to talk to you after I had it installed, so that like I would need, like, okay, how do I
No. Hindsight, man.
Hindsight be 2020, and I need new glasses. So, but all is not lost. All is not lost. Yes. Did I have to spend all of Sunday building the Oswald Chronicles from scratch again? Yes. Because in the end, I had to reset WordPress to whatever, and then to find out that the plugin and the webcomic plug, like the theme and the plugin that I needed to run a webcomic was now incompatible with the new WordPress that I had that I had to reset everything to. So I had to find another like theme, a WordPress theme and plugin to be able to do webcomics again on the Oswald site. Here's a funny thing. So I found a theme that imitates webtoons. So there's a web, what was it called? Top Key, but it's spelled weird. Hold on, let me see. Okay, the Oswald Chronicles. So it's it's called To Check. TOOCHEKE. So if you ever wanted to be on Webtoons without being on Webtoons, this theme allegedly imitates Webtoons on your website using WordPress. So I got the main base of the website redone, and in the end, it's like me and Jose were talking about it, and it's like, you know what, we probably needed a refresh for Oswald anyway. So you know what, it's like, fuck it, let's try something different. Let's go with this Webtoons model for Oswald. So, and then what I began liking about this theme, this WordPress theme, is that it's optimized for mobile. So if someone goes to the Oswald Chronicles on their phone, they can actually see it properly on their phone. It's not like my other websites where it's like, well, it's like all the things are tiny and you have to enlarge it or something. So it's like, you know what? Maybe this isn't that bad. Maybe this isn't the big tragedy I thought it was. I thought it was going to be. Right. So I got the base down. Now I'm going to wait a little bit because the thing that I learned yesterday was that it's been so long since I touched those websites at the code level, I forgot how to do them. So I had to go to other websites to learn to remember the code to be able to code the website correctly when I'm working. Yeah, it's so it was like a whole thing. And it's just like, oh my God, it's like it's been so long, right? So then there was like a plugin to do the webcomic thing. And I go, you know what? It's like, so I'm going to test that out. So like I said, if you want to do webcomics, but you don't want to bother with a platform because you want to control the audience that comes that sees your webcomic. You want to be able to get their emails and get the whole thing. So far, Toocheke, Toocheke. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. And allegedly, once I have it set up, it's pretty much identical to Webtoons, except it's on your own website now. So that's something. If that's something I'm throwing out there. I'm still testing it. But but if you're looking to revamp your website, because honestly, it got to a point where it's like, you know what? Maybe once I kind of get this thing together and kind of get kind of figuring out how I'm going to do this, how maybe I might convert the Tall Tales website to it, but it's going to be for a bit because my brain is fried from yesterday. So in the end, what we ended up doing with the store, okay, Jose signed up for his own Square account. So it's going to, if the store is going to be a separate platform anyway, we might as well just use a platform that we're familiar with already, and if we ever decide to go back to conventions again, Jose will have his own Square account that he can use as a register on his phone. So, so there's that. So I'm going to finish. So I have to, and here's an annoying thing too, because this really irritated me. So we signed up Jose for a new Square account, and the shit acts completely different than the Square account I have already.
Of course.
Like, I don't understand why his account has different options than my account. And it's the same account. It's the free account. It's the free website. So I don't know. So there's all these things I have to relearn. So we're going to get the Square account going. That's going to be the new store for the Oswald Chronicles. And then I have to figure out what happened with my drive-through account, because that's where we have all our digital files for sale. If you can buy Tall Tales, I think it's only Tall Tales up there right now. You can buy Tall Tales in digital format, individual issues for like 99 cents each on drive-through, but they changed their website. So now I have to figure out, how am I going to get this back in tune? And then we're going to have, okay, you're going to have to buy physical copies on Square and digital copies on drive-through. And we're just going to fucking call it a day. Because it's like, you know what? I like Square too. Yeah, I like Square too. Also, the thing is, though, with conventions, the one thing that if we start doing conventions again, the one thing I am definitely going to invest in for conventions is a portable hotspot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think like T-Mobile has a portable. I can buy a portable hotspot from T-Mobile for like $40.
Because God knows our fucking connections are so terrible.
You know, and it's like, and it's like I'm going to, you know, and I'm going to have my own hotspot at everywhere I go. If we go back to conventions, because if it's the one thing I learned from the whole BlurredCon thing, is that there are still places that illegally block cell phone service to force you to buy their internet service.
Right. MegaCon.
Yeah, it's like
MegaCon did that shit.
Yeah, I think like there was a convention in Washington, a convention center in Washington that did that, and they got busted by the FTC for doing that. Was it the FCC? The FCC is the airwaves. They got busted by the FCC. They got fined, and then they put like all convention centers on notice that shit's illegal. You cannot block cell service to force people to buy your hotspot. So for conventions, I'm going to invest in our own personal hotspot so that we don't have to worry about that. You know, so that's also something I'm just throwing out there. That probably something that, especially if you do conventions a lot, you know, that you should consider getting your own hotspot so you never have to worry about it. Because nowadays I think they're not as expensive as they used to be. So so especially if you're using like Square, you know, you're using you're taking credit card, but isn't cell services how hotspots get internet? I think that this just adds this is a dedicated it's a dedicated hotspot,
because we ended up having to put it on C's phone.
Yeah,
and he had to stay around us so that we could communicate and use card scanners and shit.
Right. Yeah. And you know, so it's like I'm not going to use my phone as a hotspot because my phone is the terminal, you know. Yeah, it's the process, right? So, I don't know. It's like it's something that I've seen a lot of the Artist Alley girls that I watch do. Two odd things. One of them especially, she has her own hotspot. A portable hotspot, and she has her own generator. She has like one of those Jackery portable generators that she takes with her so that she always has electricity without having to pay for it from the convention. You know, I mean, those generators, those portable generators can be a little bit on the expensive side. I know that there's a particular Jackery one that I was looking at that's like $1,200. But if you do a lot of conventions and you use electricity, trust me, that's going to pay itself off from the savings you're not spending on. And the thing is too, is that, you know, if you have the hotspot, if you have the little portable generator, you don't have to worry about where you're placed in a convention. Wherever you are, you have electricity, you know? And I'm sure you can make really, really good, you'll make a really, really good neighbor, you know, if, you know, you have those two things. So, you know, so that's just something it's a tangent right now. Now I've just completely gone on a tangent, but yeah, it's like, so the website blew up this weekend. I'm literally exhausted. I got so exhausted. I ended up drawing like this whole double page splash battle scene. I was fucking drawing Helm's Deep to relax.
Yeah, you were.
You know, I mean, it was, you know,
think how relaxed you are when it's time to ink.
Yeah, I know, really.
Future
me is not happy with this issue. Future me is not looking forward to inking this issue because I went ham. I went all out for issue 15. I'm going.
I saw that last night, and I was like, "That's all I thought is, oh my god, she's got
because not only do I have a lot of scenes like that, but also it's probably going to be a 48-page issue. Because I'm just, like I said, I'm just going. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out with a bang on this 15th issue, on this final issue of Eagle Raven, you know. And it's like, so already it's at 48 pages. I have it mapped out. Odin says, I would just get a power pack. I mean, granted, my electricity is solely for keeping my phone charged. Yeah, so it depends on what, like some people, they have like lights and especially at some convention centers, they had fans going. They had fans plugged in because they had no circulation at their table.
Right.
So I mean, like I said, in the end, I think like a little generator is good to have in the house anyway, regardless, but yeah, those are the two things that if we go back to conventions, that I will definitely invest in. But that's neither here nor there right now. So but I'm just going full ham on this final issue. Future me is definitely going to hate it, but you know what? It's going to be worth it to the peoples. It's going to be worth it to everybody when you see the amount of work I put in this. So, oh my God. So, man, I just ran my mouth today, didn't I? I tried to make this Monday worth it.
I didn't have anything interesting to talk about. I really didn't.
I mean,
bumming.
Well, it's Monday.
Yeah.
It's Monday. I mean, but do you have anything? Any thoughts or anything? No, not really.
No, not really. Like, I'm just bumming. Just
bumming, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like anything on the schedule? Anything that
there's shows and stuff. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and let the fucking YouTubes tell you what's going on.
All right.
Because I am automating as much as I possibly can before I start school, and that was the first step, was to automate, pretty much fully automate the YouTube channel. So yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
You're going to get your little certificate.
I'm gonna be certified.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be certified.
Yeah. That's good. That's good though.
Mm-hmm.
Because keep the brain busy. Oh my God. So I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat today for this rambly Monday, the rambly, still humid Monday. Jesus, I can't wait. It's going to go straight to 10 below. And, at this moment, it's like, you know what? I'd rather put a sweater on at this point.
I just want to be able to walk around and not die when I come up there.
No, because yesterday we went out just so that I can get some air, and it would help if there was air outside.
There was air.
Yeah, it was just awful. Yeah, but I would like to thank everybody who joined us in the chat today. I'd like to thank all the beautiful eyeball people who are always there, even though, I guess, you'd rather stay, that you're the strong, silent type. That's what you are, right? All the beautiful eyeball people just want, you'd rather
watchers.
They just love to watch.
They love to watch. So they could go, so we can create content for them, so they could go talk about how wrong we are later.
Oh, right, yeah. And it's like, don't care, bro.
Don't care, bro.
We don't care. Take what you need, leave the rest. It's all opinion anyway. It's all conjecture anyway. So we will so what are we doing? I don't know. So if you want to learn,
where can the people find you?
Yes, if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and my upcoming campaigns and all that fun stuff, you gotta head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. And you can always find me on YouTube for all these videos. If you missed the live stream, if you're catching me on the replay, catching us on the replay, you can find everything at my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage Art, where you can see all my videos, my live streams, my draw streams, all my 600 plus videos, and join me for my semi-weekly art live stream Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try to make it a point to do a show this Wednesday, because last week I skipped last week, so we're going to do another. We're going to see if I can do another one this week, so I can finally maybe get closer to finishing the never-ending Tall Tales cover. Jesus Christ! And so it's Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 to 6, 2 hours of me just working, just hanging out with the chat. It's kind of like being at a convention, but you're not blocking my table, so it's all good. We have a lot of fun. And remember that you can read Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday, so you can catch up with it when the first volume releases later on this year on Kickstarter. And remember, House of Bob launches August 19th. You want to get your commission on, you want to get your dirty sketchbook on, this is the campaign to do it. House of Bob Fetish Fantasy, joined by the remastered Mondo Bondo. Just 2 sketchbooks, perfect bound, beautiful books. They're going to look great on your shelf. Even if you don't want to admit that they're there, they're going to look great anyway. You know, so yeah, August 19th, link is in the show notes. Pre-launch is live. So that's it for us, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.